That was another thing when everyone got together. I met like so many people that night, and I passed out. I saw my internet computer, and then from the computer, I looked like here. I don't know how that happened. I'm blanking. Nah, no, my buddy gave me a ride. I didn't get that. I only had like 20 something years. I should have never went there. It was so warm here, and I was like, why not? Concert was it?
The whole cage.
The concert itself was probably the highlight. I thought you said King of the Corn. Yes. No, I don't know. How much is desserts? Probably looking at all the videos. Have a big mouth on this. Well, big mouth, but like really he's behind me. No, they're fine. See my mustache. Most people have it. Yeah, but we ended around 8. We would have pitched around, ended around 8. He had something to do, so he was leaving Wednesday. So he was going to get off on work. Take off Wednesday, take off work. That's why we decided to call that for. We also just face that super next. I didn't expect to win. I wanted to pick the fight. It's not bad not to win. It's like
We're just going to do live potatoes. It turns out that drop points are not even live.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Exactly. I know.
I never trust the time frame.
Give him this number.
Okay, let's live the tape. Yeah, yep.
First time around, Mexico created its National Guard. That's a federal police agency that worked at the border, and a lot of the officers spent time stopping migrants from crossing into the United States. That's the only time we've seen heavy enforcement on the Mexican side with its own officers. This came after Trump had a push for that Remain in Mexico immigration policy, and Mexico came to an agreement with the U.S. Now, that has stopped since. In the last few years, we've seen Mexican immigration ease off on that enforcement. When we saw the surge at the border here, we didn't see Mexican immigration officers or the National Guard stop a lot of the migrants that were coming into the U.S. So the expectation here is to have Mexico begin enforcing its immigration laws to stop many of the migrants, and somehow that will motivate the government, right? Because, of course, you're going to have a lot of Mexican companies that are going to be worried because of the tariffs. So the expectation is that Mexico will negotiate by investing once again on its immigration forces. Now, what's interesting to see here, Chris, is that Mexico's National Guard, which was enforcing immigration laws at the border, has now become part of the military as of this year. So before it was a policing agency. So Mexico's going through its own changes. So essentially, they would have to use their military at its northern border if they were to do what they did the first time around when Trump was president. Chris. What happened?
They got in and they were wrapped.
Yeah, she said, I'm like,
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving to you. My wife, Jennifer, and I would like to thank all of you and your families for all you're doing this Thanksgiving season. For the soldiers in the crowd, I'm so amazed by what you've done. Your state was being invaded, and you did just what we expect of Minutemen. You left your civilian jobs, you said goodbye to your family, you picked up your weapon, and you came to the southern border of the United States to protect your state. So, my thanks to you this Thanksgiving. If you're DPS, you did the same thing, and I know you're away from your families, but the other thing you did is you applied consequences. And we all know a border without consequences is not a border. So thank you so much for what you did for us. We also have a special guest today, Mr. Tom Homan, future border czar of our country. Tom, I want to express my thanks to you for coming out during your Thanksgiving week. And one of your first things you've done is to serve as soldiers and troopers on the border. I think this is a harbinger of things to come, that the cavalry's on the way. And then lastly, I want to thank our governor, Governor Greg Abbott. No governor has done more to enforce the rule of law, to secure the border, and protect the sovereignty of the citizens of the state of Texas. So it's my honor to introduce Governor.
Give it up for General. You need to know the gratitude that I, my fellow Texans, and your fellow Americans have for you, for what you're doing and what you continue to do. Everybody knows that our military, National Guard and otherwise, as well as our Department of Public Safety officers, you serve 24/7. There are times when you're not deployed, but the fact of the matter is, having available to serve the state of Texas or the United States of America is essential for Texas and for our country to remain sovereign, free, and safe. And that's exactly what you are delivering to the people of our great state. And I want to say thank you so much for everything that you're doing. No state in America has a National Guard like the Texas National Guard, either in volume or quality or what you provided for our country. Our country, meaning people outside the state of Texas, they know exactly what you've done, the difference that you've made. But the truth, the facts are that what happened over the past 4 years was more than 11 million. The volume of people is they've been physically of the Texas National Guard and the Texas Department of Public Safety. Americans, thank you for your service. I know that sometimes what you're doing, and that is that you know how essential it is what you're doing. Texans are counting on you. Americans are counting on you. And especially this time when we have Thanksgiving. We as Texans and Americans have at the top of our list among our thanks. A thank you to all of our Texas National Guard, those who came from other states to join you from those other state guards, as well as our DPS officers. So for me, the best and most prolific thing I can do to you today is to let you know the gratitude that Texans have for you. Maybe the second best thing is what General Seltzer was talking about. The second best thing is what General Seltzer was talking about. There is a change afoot as we speak right now. And it's something that formally occurs on January the 20th, but has already begun. Actions, planning, preparation, schematics, everything that needs to be done is being done to make sure that there is no time gap whatsoever. That as soon as January the 20th occurs, there is going to be a change in the way that the United States of America protects our border and protects the sovereignty of the United States of America. And we have with us the person who's going to be the tip of the spear of leading that effort. And that is Tom Homan, a person that you probably know is well experienced at this. If I recall correctly, you served in the Border Patrol, served the head of ICE, and as we say in Texas, this is not his first rodeo. He's been down this pathway before, done this before, comes ready and prepared with both the physical attributes, the mental attributes, and the experience attributes to make sure that we're going to be doing more and faster than anything that's ever been done to, first of all, regain control of our border, restore order in our communities, and also identify, locate, and deport criminals in the United States of America who have come across the border, who are preying upon our fellow Texans and our fellow Americans, and make sure that we restore safety and law and order in communities across the entire United States of America. And I am proud to have with us today the next border czar, and that is Tom Homan.
Thanks, Governor. Look, you guys know me. For the last 4 years, I wake up every morning pissed off about what this administration did to the most secure border in my lifetime. Let me be clear. I worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. Every president I worked for took steps to secure the border because they understood you can't have strong national security if you don't have border security. We didn't know who's coming in, what's coming in, where's coming in, why it's coming, all those questions, right? No one did better than President Trump. President Trump's one badass president to secure this border at a level we've never seen before. Illegal immigration was down to a 45-year low. Illegal immigration was down between 83 and 90%. Unprecedented success. Joe Biden's the first president in the history of this nation who came into office and unsecured a border on purpose. This isn't mismanagement. This isn't incompetence. This is by design. So the first morning I woke up with a smile on my face was the day after the election when President Trump won. Because he's going to come back, he's going to finish the job he started. First of all, he sends us well wishes here and happy Thanksgiving, President Trump. Also, we got a secretary coming in, Secretary Kristi Noem, the governor. I've met with her numerous times. She's the right person at the right time for the right job. She gets it. She has a lot of great ideas of her own. So I'm looking forward to Kristi getting through the confirmation process and coming to work with us. I think she's doing a fabulous job. Today is the first day I've been at Shelby Park. I'm here. Governor Abbott has done an amazing job. Illegal immigration in Texas is down 86%. 86%. Think about that. This is a model we can take across the country. We're going to help Governor Abbott finish the job he started, but this is a model we can take across the country. Unprecedented success in Texas. It's a shame the taxpayers of Texas have to spend billions of dollars to do the job that this administration failed to do, didn't want to do. And because of that, what everybody in this room today, you got to understand, you're a national hero and you're saving this nation. Let me explain why. It's just not about illegal immigration anymore. When this administration calls a crisis the biggest they caused, it overwhelms the Border Patrol. And because the Border Patrol is so overwhelmed taking care of this humanitarian crisis, many of them are pulled off the line. And what happens then? 600% increase in sex trafficking. Fentanyl coming across the border killed 250,000 Americans. Record number of people on terrorist watch lists crossing the border. Over 2 million known gotaways. How many of them come from a country-sponsored terror? How many of them were carrying fentanyl? How many of them are sex trafficking women and children? How many of them are gang members? So it's more than just illegal immigration. I don't care what your opinion is on illegal immigration. When you cause a crisis this big, all these terrible things happen. Cartels are making more money today than every day. They're making a record amount of money smuggling aliens, a record amount of money trafficking in women and children, and a record amount of money moving the dope. I'm happy that we finally got a president. President Trump's going to come in January. Like the governor says, we're not waiting till January. We're already talking. We're already planning. We're going to put a plan in place and secure this nation at the highest level it's ever seen. We're going to finish Trump's work. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. What people don't understand is that what we've done in Texas, for every ounce of fentanyl your trooper sees, are less overdose deaths. For every person you arrest for trespassing and put them through a fingerprinting process, that's one less gotaway. So at least we know who these people are. What you've done is not only protect the state of Texas and the citizens of Texas, you are protecting this nation. It's a shame we have other governors and other mayors who are right out of the gate are said they're going to push back on President Trump what we're trying to do, especially for interior enforcement. Let me be clear. There is going to be a mass deportation because we just finished a mass illegal immigration crisis on the border, where anybody can look at 9 out of 10 people claim asylum at the border will end up with an order removal. So you can't ask for the right to claim asylum, the right to see a judge, the right to due process, and we give you that due process, and at the end of that due process, a federal judge orders you removed, we have to remove them. Because if we don't, shut down the immigration court. Those orders don't mean anything anymore. Take you guys off the border because there's no consequences. So you can't demand due process, the right to claim asylum, and not obey the court order. That is why there needs to be a mass deportation. We have a mass number of people, millions of people who will get a final order and be ordered removed. If we don't do it, what is the option? Let them stay? Because if you let them stay, you'll never fix the border. There'll be you're going to send a message to the rest of the world. Enter the country legally, which is a crime. Ignore a court order, you never have to go home. We're telling the whole world it's okay to enter this country legally, you never got to go home. We're a nation of laws. And we're going to enforce the laws. The men and women of ICE, they're going to have a tough job ahead of them. And I'm sending a message for the people that say they're going to get in our way. They're going to stop us from doing what we're doing in an interior enforcement operation. I've said it 100 times in the last week. Don't cross that line. It's a felony to knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. Don't test us. The nation wants a safe country. We've had enough crime in this country, illegal alien crime. It's time to end it and stop it. President Trump's committed to it. He's committed to securing this border. He's committed to having this mass deportation operation and concentrating on public safety threats and national security threats. For any mayor or governor who's going to push back on removing public safety threats from your community, that is your number one responsibility. You ought to be teaming up with us. We have created the biggest national security vulnerability in this nation on the southern border. Because like I said, 2 million known gotaways, we don't know how many unknown gotaways, already a record number of people on terrorist watch lists. If you don't think a single one of the 2 million came from a country sponsoring terror and didn't come and do us harm, then you're an idiot. Everybody ought to be on the same page. Republican, Democrat, Independent. This is a huge national security vulnerability and everybody ought to be concerned with it. So thank you for your service. Thank you for all the work you're doing. I am impressed with what I've seen today. Governor, hats off to you. The outgoing Mr. McGraw, the famous Mr. McGraw, who I actually, he's been a mentor of mine. This guy's done more for DPS than anybody that's ever worked with DPS, in my opinion. He took you guys to the 21st century. Texas DPS is probably the finest law enforcement agency in this nation. So thank you for the DPS. Thank you for Mr. McGraw. Thank you for the governor. Game on. Time to get this done. Game on.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paul Bettis. I'm the president of the National Border Patrol Council. Been doing this for 27 years. I've known Tom Homan for a long time. I've known the governor, Mike Banks, your outgoing, what's the title? Colonel, Director. I've known him for a long time, and you're incoming. You guys are going to be in good hands. And so, as a veteran and as somebody whose son is in the Army right now, I want to thank you for your sacrifice, because I know being away from home is a very big deal for you guys. But what you're doing here, what the governor has had you do here, is very, very important. You guys have been protecting this country from all types of threats. And you may not see it every day, but those of us that are out there that should be doing the job that this administration won't let us do, thank you for everything you have done, because you have saved lives. Everything that the troopers, that you guys as guardsmen have done, has saved lives. Without you guys, this country would be in more chaos. The governor stepped up and did what no other governor wanted to do. If the southern border governors did exactly what Governor Abbott did, this country would be in a much better place. A lot more lives would have been saved. But this administration completely decimated the border. They completely took apart the plans and policies that President Trump left in place. It's been said, all they had to do was nothing. But they took the opposite. They put the wrong people in charge. They put people that wanted this country to be overrun by illegal immigrants in charge, and they allowed them to do it. And if it wasn't for this governor stepping up, this country would be worse off. Now that President Trump's going to be in office, he chose the best person for the job. The best person. There's nobody better than Tom Homan. He's assembled a great team. He's putting together a great team to take the border back once and for all, put the cartels in their place, put the smugglers out of business, and once and for all secure this border. So I want to thank you guys for being here, away from your families, doing the job that you signed up to do. Is very, very different than what you're doing now, but it's very, very critical and something that we really, really appreciate. So thank you guys very much. We appreciate it.
Well, first, I've had the pleasure of working with Tom over the last 30 years. He is a consummate professional, and I couldn't agree more with the governor that he is the right man for the job. He's a little timid at times about expressing his views, but you always know where you stand with him. And I couldn't agree more, and more importantly, the governor couldn't agree more, that the most significant homeland security and public safety threat to Texas and to the nation has been, and will continue to be until it's secure again, is an unsecured international border with Mexico, ×2. It's a national security threat as well. And we've had to live with the consequences, but we've got a governor that he didn't talk about public safety or homeland security. He actually lives it night and day, and he will not accept any excuses for not securing the Texas-Mexico border. It doesn't matter if it's our job, it doesn't matter whose job it is. He is so committed to public safety and homeland security. And I know from phone calls at, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock sometimes, okay? He is fully committed and engaged and cares deeply about the soldiers and cares deeply about the troopers. When we suffer, when we lose one, the governor's there, plain and simple. So it's been an honor to work for you, Governor. You've leaned forward. You've done something certainly wasn't a Texas job, but Texans expect success under your leadership, and we're a better place today than we were yesterday. Thank you. God bless you.
Hey, so I'm going to be real quick because I know what you guys want to do, right? Being a veteran myself, we want to get down to eating. So real quick, I think you guys need to understand, I want to put it in perspective for you. A lot of times it's hard for you out there, you're holding back, and then you see a migrant get through the fence somewhere else, and you think, what am I doing here? 86% reduction. You have reduced traffic, illegal immigration in the state of Texas by 86%. That is massive, especially when you take into consideration that Texas owns 64% of the border. We got the largest portion of the border, and we're also the most direct path for that traffic. Texas has never not led the nation in illegal immigrant crossings. Now, we barely account for 30% of the daily traffic crossing the border. And that's to the effort you're doing. And I want to make sure I point that out, because sometimes when you're just focused on one little piece of the pie, you're not seeing the whole picture, but you guys are killing it. And so today is like the best day of the year for me, because nothing makes me happier than being able to come out and serve those Texans that are serving Texas. And I appreciate what you guys do. You're killing it. Tom Homan, I agree with the governor. The president couldn't pick a better person to be the border czar. I'm looking forward to actually working with a border czar that wants to work with a border czar, do border czar stuff, right? Secure the border. Very excited about that. Governor's made it very clear that Texas is a law and order state. The president picked a career law enforcement leader. We're going to work together. We're going to get you guys more ability to do more, to push harder, and get this border secure. Thank you.